Let me tell you who this Shu Xiaoxiao was. There is no historical record of her, except one poem supposedly composed by this lady. The poem is recorded in a collection of poetry in the title of 玉台新咏, a new collection of poetry from the Jade Terrace. This text was published around 534 CE by a leading scholar official named Xu Ling. Here is the poem. 妾乘游碧车，郎骑青铜马。何处皆同心，西陵松柏下。I'm riding a oilcloth-sided carriage, and you are on a gentle piebald horse. Where shall we tie our knot of love? Under the pine trees at Western Hill. 接同心, or tying up the lover's knot, was part of the traditional wedding. Sometimes it refers to the knot hanging around the wedding bed. Sometimes it refers to the ritual of tying the hair of the groom and the bride. On the wedding night, the groom and the bride would cut off a strand of their hair and tie the two strands of hair together, as shown here. This is why a formerly married couple is called 结发夫妻, or a couple who tied their hair. This tradition is still practiced in Taiwan and has made a comeback in mainland China recently. I think it is quite lovely. This poem might be a letter she sent to her lover after they met in one of her outings. It implies that she was willing to elope with her lover. She might even have a place at the Western Hill under the pine trees where they can consummate their marriage. From this poem, scholar officials from the subsequent Qing Dynasty of the 7th, 8th, and 9th centuries imagined a talented and passionate lady who broke the social norm of arranged marriage and fell in love with a young man. No one knows who she was and where she was from. This left plenty room for imagination. Some scholars believed that she was the daughter of an aristocrat because she was riding on an oilcloth-sided carriage when she met her lover, and only the aristocrats were entitled to such luxury vehicles during the 5th and 6th centuries. Others argue that she might be a courtesan kept by an aristocrat. This was the view held by most of the Tang poets who composed many poems for her. I tend to believe the view that she was a lady from the aristocrat family. If she was a kept woman, she would not be allowed to go out without her man, let alone fall in love with another man. The 5th and 6th centuries were a culturally tolerant time for young women. This was the time when the legend of Mulan was circulating and celebrated. If a daughter of a warrior could manage to be a general in the north, a young lady at the south could certainly fall in love and run away with her lover. Famous poets such as Bai Jiyi, Li Shangyin, and Wen Qingjun composed many poems praising her poetic talent, beauty, bravery, and passion for romantic love, making her their heroine in their romantic fantasies. However, Li He's poem changed the subsequent imaginations to a complete different direction. She became a ghost who would meet young scholars in their dreams, and the young men were willing to die to be with her. There were many stories circulating since the late Tang Dynasty about her love affairs with young talented scholars. The best-known story was the one published by an early Qing Dynasty scholar official named Zhang Lei in his Keshan or an anthology of Axe-Handle Mountain. The story is known as Qiantang Yi Meng, or A Strange Dream by the Qiantang River. By the way, Zhang Lei was a disciple of a great Qing Dynasty poet named Shu Shi. I have posted several videos talking about Shu Shi's stories and poems. Here is the link to one of them. The story of Qiantang Yi Meng goes something like this. There was a scholar named Sima You who just passed the National Civil Service examination. His family and neighbors were very happy for him and held a farewell banquet for him. He got quite drunk at the banquet and fell asleep during the daytime. A beautiful lady entered his dream and sang a song for him. The lyrics of the song was so beautiful that Sima You also composed a corresponding song. In her song, the lady said she lived by the Qiantang River. Later, Sima You took an office at the Qiantang County and recalled the lady from his dream. On the day he arrived at Qiantang, Sima You composed a poem and chanted the poem to commemorate her. That night, the lady came to his dream again and they became a couple. She would come to his dream every night from that on. Sima You told his colleagues about the affair, and one of the colleagues told Sima You that the grave of a lady named Shu Xiaoxiao was just at the back of his office and residence. Maybe the lady in Sima You's dream was her. Sima You built a boat and decorated it lavishly. He often entertained his colleagues on the boat. One evening, one of his boatmen saw a young man got on board with a beautiful lady and sailed down the river. Then suddenly the boat burst into flame and sunk into the river. The boatman rushed back to Sima You's office and reported the incident, only to find that Sima You had died. From the Shang to the Qing Dynasty, many novels, plays, and poetry were compiled resembling this plot. Shu Xiaoxiao became a legendary figure for talent and beauty. Her grave also became a tourist spot, visited by many young scholars over the centuries, leaving many beautiful poems about her. Unfortunately, her grave was destroyed during the wars in the late Ming and early Qing dynasties. The fourth Qing emperor, Ai Jueluo Hongli, visited the Qiantang County around 1780 and inquired about Shu Xiaoxiao's grave. So, her grave was rebuilt 4 years later. This new grave lasted until 1964 and was destroyed during the Cultural Revolution. In 2004, the local government there rebuilt her grave again for tourist purpose. Shu Xiaoxiao, her grave and her story are the testimony to the unfortunate fate of many Chinese heritages. It endures significant socio-political upheavals and turmoils, got destroyed, but was rebuilt over and over again. Do you have legends of female talents and beauties in your culture like this? I would love to hear your story. I'm Dr. Gao, a philosopher obsessed with poetry. I make videos about the classical Chinese poetry, philosophies, and traditional Chinese medicine. Please click the like button and subscribe my channel. Your support is very important to me. Any small donations to my channel will be much appreciated so that I can afford technical support and focus my attention and energy to make better videos for you. I also offer online lessons, so if you would like to have personally tailored lessons on these subjects or read a classical Chinese text with me, please contact me. Here's my email address. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.